What's up, folks? Dave Swift here, clientamp.com, and today on That LTD Life, we are looking at none other than the Chatbot Builder over on AppSumo. This is a brand new lifetime deal that can kickstart your business into the modern times. When you think back on it, every decade kind of has its own technology that was very critical to that time. In the 80s, we had things like toll-free phone numbers and fax machines. In the 90s, email and websites started to become very, very important, and into the 2000s, social media seem to reign supreme. But we are facing another technological change, and that is AI. Of course, everyone is talking about it, but how do you actually configure all this stuff? That's what Chatbot Builder promises to solve. It's going to do it easily and affordably, two of my favorite things. So throughout the rest of this video, I'm going to be trying out Chatbot Builder, showing you exactly how it works so you can decide whether or not it's a good fit for your business. If you find this video to be helpful, make sure you click the like button, maybe consider subscribing to the channel, or use my AppSumo link down below to pick up your own lifetime deal of Chatbot Builder. Now, you should know that this Chatbot Builder video is brought to you by AppSumo's AI Week. AI Week has landed, as it says here on the website. You can get 10% off of all of these great new LTDs that just hit AppSumo today. Most of them have never been on AppSumo before. I'm going to try to review as many of them as I can. I released a video on Plazo earlier this morning, and I've definitely got more in the pipeline as well. So support this channel by using the link down below for AppSumo's AI Week. And thanks again to AppSumo for their consistent support of this channel. All right, let's get in, and I want to show you how to build your first chatbot, and then we'll talk about some of the plan details. There's some good stuff here, and there's some kind of questionable stuff as well. So I'm not going to hold anything back. Let's get right into it. We're going to create a new agent right here by clicking this plus button. We'll give it a name, and I'll just call it demo and hit create agent. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is add in my website URL. Notice that you can add your website, your YouTube, or your sitemap link. So I'm just going to go ahead and type my URL in. It's daveswift.com. Definitely go check out my website if you've not been there yet. It's got written reviews of all of the tools I publish here on YouTube. And I do happen to know my sitemap URL. It's just sitemap.xml. You might want to try that for your own website. If you're using WordPress or something like that, you can check inside of your SEO plugin. It'll probably have a link for you. Next up is our core agent information. So essentially, what is the point of this agent? What is it supposed to do? So I just went ahead and wrote my core agent information. I'm going to read it to you here. It says, act as an AI software consultant, learn all about the software reviewed on this website, and make recommendations based on the needs of the customer. Include links to the review or purchase links, but be sure to use affiliate links in the page and disclose them properly when doing so. So right away, some challenges for the chatbot. I don't know if it's going to be able to provide the affiliate links and also let people know that the links that it's providing are going to generate affiliate revenue. So we will test that out as we go. The next thing we need to do before we actually start training things here is to choose the goal of the chatbot. So is it to help customers, like customer support? Are we trying to sell the product, get a free trial? Do we want to promote a sale? Are we trying to get people to register for a webinar? Or if we have another goal, we can just write it out in plain English. I'm going to stick with the plain old help customers, and we'll move on to the next step. All right, so the next step here just says you're all good to go. Let's build your bot, and it's going to go ahead and start scraping things. Okay, so the scraping has begun. It popped up this window right here saying that it found 473 links on my website. That sounds about right. I'm going to go ahead and just check them all, and we're going to train on all 473 pages of the website. And we can see that the training is complete on the first batch. I'm going to let this kind of stir in the background here as we check out the rest of the tool. Now, I'm using my website as the training data, but you might want to connect up other apps or even just provide text documents, which you can definitely do. Under source data, we've got some native apps that you can connect up: Notion, Confluence, Salesforce, as well as Google Drive. And you can also just upload your own files. It accepts PDF, docx, TXT files, Markdown files, and Excel files or CSVs. There's even a plain text area here where you can just dump text in if you want to make sure the agent remembers something specific. And after all of your training is done, you can head over here to the all trained files. We can manage our links and remove stuff if it's out of date or you just want to make some changes. Now, when it comes time to the chatbot actually responding to people, we can see a preview of what it looks like over here. It's going to need an LLM under the hood to kind of power the responses. tools. So for this, you can connect up your own AI model, or you can use Claude 4, which is included. I'm pleasantly surprised at the number of API connections that are available to us. It's not just Anthropic or OpenAI. You also get Gemini, Grok, OpenRouter, and DeepSeek. Now, to be clear, you'd be supplying your own API key, which you would be responsible for in the billing situation. So this is not included as part of the LTD, but if you want to be powered by Grok or DeepSeek or whatever floats your boat this week, you can definitely do so. Now, it's only been a moment or two, but the chatbot has already been trained on my entire website, all 473 pages. We can skip to the end here. You can see that it says training complete on all of them. It's 1.9 million characters. On my specific account, I have up to 18 million characters as the limit. So I could do almost 10 times as much content and still squeeze everything into this chatbot. Now, I am excited to just dive in and start playing with the chatbot right now, but I want to go over a few of these other settings. So there is an improve agent section here where we can actually see questions that have been asked of the chatbot and then go ahead and maybe make some suggestions if it doesn't handle questions in exactly the way that we would prefer. We can also see any unanswered questions where it gets stumped and it doesn't know what to do. It's not going to just make something up. Instead, it's going to leave that question unanswered, and then you can follow up as a human. There's also this starter Q&A section where you can essentially add in any frequently asked questions that people might ask on your site. This isn't really AI powered. You have to type in the question and the answer, but it's there if you want to just start people engaging with the chatbot. So it might be something to spend some time working on. For now, I'm going to skip it and go to the bot setup where I can change my bot's name, choose the message limit. Let's say no more than 50 messages per hour. If I've got my own API connection here, I don't want to maybe burn up too many credits. And then there's just a plethora of options we can configure. So first up is the behavior setup. So a welcome message, let's say something a little bit more catchy. We can set up our bot's user description. So I said you're lighthearted in nature, but deep in content. And then for the fallback scenario, this is what happens if the bot gets stumped. So just let them know you're going to talk to a human. And then we've just got a boatload of toggle switches here. So we've got follow-up questions, typing suggestions, media previews. These are all on by default. But then there's some other things that I probably want to turn on, like a nudge message. So asking if they're still active. And then you can specify how long you wait to do that. Or showing the source data. You want to link to the actual article where it's pulling that information from. In my case, I definitely do want to do that. You can also send off the chat transcript at the end of the conversation. Toggle that on if you want to. And GDPR concerns are addressed here as well with a cookie notification as well as a consent to communicate. And now it's finally time to try out the chatbot. Now there are 3 different ways we can do this. First of all, we've got the chat preview right here and I can just start talking to it. Hey, what's up? And I get a nice friendly response. I can have it regenerate the response if I don't like it, or even just copy it with the little click to copy button. Now, one test I always like to do on these types of tools is ask it for a recipe to bake a cake. That's not at all relevant to what we're trying to do. And I don't want to waste my credits on people abusing the system. So let's try that out. Is Chatbot Builder going to be smart enough to say, hey, no recipes here, we're focused on software. So give me a recipe for a delicious cake and send. I'm here to help with all things software. Perfect. It's not going to give me a cake recipe. That's what I wanted. At the end, I really do like this little closing touch. Would you like suggestions for software that can help you organize recipes or manage your kitchen tasks? Very nicely done, Chatbot. Okay, so that was the first way we can try things out. There's also this little preview button right at the top here. It's an eyeball. It opens up the same thing in essentially like a full screen view. So if you want no distractions, just to work with your chatbot, you can do that right here. And of course, the final way to try things out is just to go live. Why not? We'll hit publish here and we've got a couple of different options. We can link to the chatbot with the little copy button right here. That's going to open things up in its own dedicated window. So it looks just like this, the preview that we just saw, except now it doesn't say preview and I could share this with the public. Or I could use this embed link. I can copy this and put it right on my website. So any code injection or snippets plugin will do. I'm going to go ahead and save this here on my Ghost website. Would work great on Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, whatever you're using, Webflow, all of the builders. It should work just fine. And here is my website with the little chatbot widget down in the lower right-hand corner. Let's open this up and try to have a conversation. So it says, hey, what's up? Let's talk about LTDs and self-hosted software. I'm going to see if it can remember to give me the appropriate links and everything that I asked it to do. So let's start off with saying, what are the best deals on AppSumo? All right, it said, here are some of the best current deals on AppSumo with a quick summary and direct links using affiliate URLs, which help support the site at no extra cost to you. So that's cool. I do know that some of these deals have expired, so that is a little bit difficult difficult because it's not indicated in the training data as to when the deal actually ended. But I'm curious, will this even go to the AppSumo Gumlet page? What is this link? Looking on the toolbar in the bottom there, it does look like it's the appropriate affiliate link. So checking it out, yeah, it works. It does take me to AppSumo. It used my link. So that's a nice start. Yeah, here's another one, Akumba Mail. I'm just going to confirm by actually looking at the article that this is the same link. So we'll just search the site here. Here's my Akumba Mail review. And if I go to the button right here, yep, sure enough, that is the exact same URL. So good job on the chatbot. I wonder if it can link to the actual URL on my website. Now I've got really good search here, so you could easily do that up there, but let's find out if people are in the chatbot, they're not going to think to go to the offsite search. So let's try it out. I actually kind of spelled it differently. I put a space between Akumba and Mail, so something to trick them a little bit. So it does give me a URL here, and it looks like it's once again giving me the AppSumo link rather than the page right on my website. So not perfect, but pretty darn good. Now you might notice that it does say powered by Chatbot Builder right here, and there is a way to remove that, but unfortunately it's not free. So let's check it out. This is kind of where maybe some of the negative things with the tool start to kick in my opinion. Now, before we start, let me just be clear. I think all software needs a way to make recurring revenue. This stuff is not free, so I'm okay with that. However, they do have a big banner at the top of the tool here, and even if you close it, anytime you reload the page, the banner reappears. It's really irritating. If I close it, please don't show me again. The banner is, of course, for their add-ons. Now, one of these add-ons is for branding removal. So it's $10 a month, $120 a year, and you're going to be able to remove that Chatbot Builder logo at the bottom. I don't know if it matters that much to me personally, but for the right business, it certainly would. And I feel like these prices, they're severely discounted for the AppSumo promotion. I feel like they're all fairly affordable, like $5 for an agent or $5 for an extra user. That's definitely about as cheap as I could possibly expect. But hey, you know what? I'm on the add-ons page. Make it go away. You don't need to show me the ad right on the add-ons page. Just chill a little. The other thing that's not exactly clear is how many messages you get per month if you're using your own API key. Now, it seems to be that it just includes everything, like your own API key is still going to fit into these limits, because on the tooltip on the AppSumo deal page, it does say with your API key. You do get some cloud access that's included with your account, but otherwise you're going to need to provide your own API key, and you still have some limitations, which seems a bit unusual to me because you're obviously paying the LLM, until you consider the fact that it's trained on all of your data and that's not stored within Claude or something like that. It's going to be doing some parsing on that end before actually including it in the query over to your Claude or OpenAI account, Grok, whatever you're using. That's confusing, but basically what I'm trying to say is that Chatbot Builder is going to be doing some work on their end before actually sending off the data to your API key provider. So I can see having the limitations, but it just feels like it's maybe a bit higher than I would like, or the limits are lower than I would like, if that makes any sense at all. Now that we've had some traffic go through the chatbot, we can actually see what the improve agent section looks like. There's some questions here. We can click on the triple dots and actually edit the response, or if one is not something that you want to keep around, you can go ahead and archive that right here. So that's going to live over in the archive section. We can favorite responses by clicking on the little star icon, and then they'll be over here in the favorites section. But essentially, this is a way for you to refine the answers that your chatbot is giving. You just click the triple dots, hit edit response, and then you can change anything that was mentioned inside of that response. So I'm asking the same question again. Hopefully it responds by giving me the link not to AppSumo, but to daveswift.com, which it did. Perfect. Okay, so things are going pretty good, but we've done basically the minimum here. We've trained it on our own data, and we got the chatbot on our website. It's working. Great. There's a lot more to take into consideration. What if we want to book appointments or drive sales to particular channels? We can set up goals. And that red color, what if it's not doing it for you? This one down here, what if you don't like how that looks? Can we actually change it? And can I change my profile picture? I don't really want that guy on my website. So we'll start off with adding some additional functionality. That's right here under actions. So you can choose Calendly, add that to your list, and now you'll be able to connect up your chatbot builder to actually schedule appointments with you directly on Calendly. That just pops open a little window. You log into Calendly, and then here you go. I've got my Calendly connected, and I can set up the type of appointment that I'd like to book. I mean, there's not much to this. It just connects to your Calendly account. It sees the appointments that you have, and then if someone expresses interest in booking an appointment, well, the AI bot can do that for you. But there's so much more. We can also set up custom goals. They can be sales or support related. It can even be healthcare healthcare or human resources. There's a lot of different options here. Probably one of the most important things you can do for any business is to collect some user data. So you're going to want to get at least someone's name as well as their email address. You can add your own custom values if you have other information that you need that's specific to your business. There's a prompt up at the top here that explains how important it is to collect the information. And you can also change that prompt to be at a specific part in the flow. So maybe after a question or before a question, it's just going to change the plain text up here. So you can customize this to be whatever you need. Now, if you do want human handoffs because the chatbot gets stumped, you can connect up either Intercom or Chris just with their integrations right here. That way, when the chatbot runs into trouble, it can ping you over on one of those two platforms. And the last thing to look at is how can we connect this up to other services and change the look and feel of things. So over here under channels, you can see you can actually connect this up not only to your website, but you can connect it up to WhatsApp, Messenger, Facebook Messenger, Telegram, or Instagram. So very, very flexible social media response tool. This is absolutely going to be something a lot of brands take advantage of. Now, what I wanted to do was change the look of this a little bit because the red is a little bit much in my opinion. So we can go ahead and swap this out for maybe more of a dark color. I like that. And there's actually a gradient over here. So we can just choose like a specific hex code if we wanted it to be plain white. You can do that. I like that. You can upload your own logo right here. So I can go to upload logo, just drop my head in there, hit upload. Now that's going to be different than the actual person I'm chatting with. So just know that going in. Notice that the builder branding options are over here. I can't turn that on because I haven't upgraded my plan as we already discussed. You can set your font right here. There's quite a few fonts included. I don't think it's all of Google fonts, but we're pretty darn close here. I know the one font I went for wasn't there, but you can see I'm scrolling and there's no end to the number of fonts that are available. So quite a few to choose from. We can also change the font size right here. If you feel like 13 is too small, you can bump it up a little bit. We've got some button design and some custom CSS here as well, so you can really dial in the look of the chatbot. So all of that was the welcome screen. We've also got the conversation chat where you can actually change who you're talking to. So I mentioned before, I didn't want to have this like cartoon character on there, so I can add my own face. Yes, it will be up there and up there. I'm okay with that. So we'll just drag and drop that same image in, and there we go. And now it is inside of the chatbot. Looks a lot better to me. I can also change the chat bubble color here. I went with more of an Apple Messages type of blue. And then we've got our theme mode down at the bottom between light and dark. I'm going to stick with light. That's what I did on the welcome screen as well. So everything looks really nice. I'm going to go ahead and save these changes. Back on my website, I'll just refresh the page. And here we go. My icon here is not updated, but everything else inside, it looks pretty good. Unfortunately, to change that site icon, you actually have to have the professional plan. So I need to go ahead and upgrade my plan in order to do that, which is $100 a month. I'm probably not going to be totally honest. All right, we're about done with this tool here. Just a few other things I want to run through, but we've seen almost everything it can do. First of all, there is an analytics section, so that's important. You probably want to know who's actually making contact with your chatbot. You can check that out. It'll show you all over the world who's engaging, what topics they're talking about, and how long the chat is actually lasting. So that's really nice. And we can sort that by date and by specific bots if we want to as well. The other thing I wanted to mention was the auto sync. But you can actually have Chatbot Builder go ahead and rescan your website on a scheduled basis. The way this works is on a page by page basis, actually. So that's kind of nice because maybe you don't update the content on certain parts of your website very much, but other parts you want to be scanned more frequently. So as an example here, I have the homepage to be scanned every week, but the about page is only scanned every 4 weeks. So you can go ahead and either just do a manual rescan. So you can just hit resync and it's going to go ahead and relearn that document if you make changes to it, or you can just wait for it to happen at a set schedule. You can also add additional websites to your training source. So I just pasted in a YouTube video right here. It's currently fetching the video. It's going to transcribe it and add that as training data right to the chatbot. So here we go. I was able to find the video. I can hit train and now it's going to add that to my data sources. So here's the video. You can see it's a video because it's got the YouTube logo and the training is already complete. So that is Chatbot Builder, a very simple and easy to understand tool that's going to provide a lot of utility for a very low cost. Yeah, sure, I'd love to have white labeling included or maybe higher limits on the number of messages, but I do understand that these businesses need to find a way to actually generate recurring revenue. So in some ways, I kind of appreciate the fact that they're looking for those little bumps in monthly recurring revenue. $5 here, $10 there can really make a difference if enough people sign up. My one gripe that I just can't get over is the fact that that banner won't go away when I close it. So if the developers are watching, please find a way to stop annoying the users. Other than that, I think this is a great tool. Highly recommend checking it out. Maybe it'll be a good fit for you. I'm gonna give this one a 7.9 out of 10. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you get subscribed to this channel. I've got a lot more AI software tools coming up very, very shortly here. Thanks for watching. My name is Dave. Consider using my AppSumo link if you want to support this content. Hit me up in the comments and I'll see you in the next review.